thinking.
So you found it, the soul of connection. If you're succeeding at everything except the relationships that matter most, this is for you. I'm Tressa Yonekawa, brain science, no fluff, real change.
Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited for today because these are people that I have recently met through Armando Leduc at Leduc Entertainment, who was on a giant boat out in Antarctica, I believe, and somehow met you beautiful people. He came back and said, Tressa, you have to meet these human beings. They are so incredible. And I'm like, what's so incredible about them? And then I found out. So I want everybody to know you too. And Dr. Laura Shwaluk and Jerry Kezhaya.
Absolutely.
Well, all right. I just keep calling you Dr. Laura and Jerry, so those parts are easy for me. And I want everyone to know you because you have a really interesting perspective and you bought a huge piece of property to prove it. So I want to first jump into, if you would each just grace us with what's important to you about what you love about what you do.
What's important to me about what I love about what I do is what I do is I work with a person, not just on a relationship level, but on a very soul, spiritual, up-leveling level. It's like taking the spiritual, emotional brain and lifting the consciousness like an astronomical leap. And that shows up in people's lives. So that's exciting to see people go from being stuck to and not knowing why to like stuff in their life is amazing and they're really alive.
Oh, I have so many questions for you. Okay, Jerry, your turn.
Doc, that was awesome. Thanks. Tressa, I just want to say thanks for hosting us today. I'm really excited. We chatted a couple weeks ago and just loved your energy, loved hanging out with you. It was just a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out too. I'm sure it'll be amazing. So one of the things that I'm just excited about when I get to help people, so Laura and I work together. We've worked together for almost 30 years. We've been married 27 years. So, well, we've been together 27 years, been married 23, and we do everything together. We are that weird couple that have figured out how to make it work being together 24/7. And we literally are 24/7. So one of the things that we do in addition to sensing life is we have been for the last 13 years very successful business coaches. And one of the things that I can absolutely get lit up about is when you see the light come on in someone's eyes when they are picking up what you're laying down, right? I'm explaining something to them and all of a sudden it's like, oh, and it's so fun, right? And one of the things we've learned is if someone is having issues with their business, 99% of the time they're having issues at home. And 99% of the time, the people that are having issues at home, that gets translated into issues with their business. And so coming from a viewpoint, from a position of 30 years together, of 24/7 together, and having figured it out, right? And over 50 years of owning multiple businesses. At one time, Laura and I owned 8 companies with several hundred employees, the multi-million-dollar payrolls, and all the stuff that goes with that, right? We've kind of dialed it in and figured out how to do it, and we can translate it into ways that people get to understand it and apply it to their lives. So that excites the heck out of me.
Okay, I love what you both said. And now I want to understand, what is the pain point? So bring me in where somebody is saying X, and so that they can know that there's more. Because We all know people. I was on the path. You two might have been at the path at one time, although I wouldn't believe it if you told me. And I wish I would have met you 30 years ago. I think a lot of people are on the path of, well, this is how it is. So I'm just going to accept this, and it's going to be like this because it's familiar enough, and it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. I know this. I know the pain. I know the things that can be good here. It's fine, and we'll just continue doing this until we die. And right? Have you been there?
Yeah. We both want to talk.
We're chomping at the bit. We're chomping at the bit.
I know it's unfortunately overly resonant, but please, what do you want to say?
So to tell you where I've been in the late 2000s, 2007, 2008, 2009, I was $5 million upside down. Just for the audience clarification, upside down means if you sold all my stuff, paid off all the debts that you could with what you collected, I was still $5 million in the red.
Whew.
When my banker called me in and said, you need to declare. And I said, declare what? I didn't even know what the heck he was talking about. Right? And yes, we've both been there. We've all been there. What does someone say to me? How do I get that they're ready to do something? When I ask them, do you want to grow your business? And the best line I've heard is, yes, I want to grow my business. I really don't know how. And honestly, I'm already working 80, 90 hours a week. There's not enough for me to go around. Yeah. I want to grow the business, but I can't be the guy in the trench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my response to that is, give us 12 months. We will change your life. Yeah. I guarantee it. And we have a 100% success rate.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it takes me about 12 months to get through there. And Dr. Laura, you were leaning into, what do you want to say?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I think that everyone can relate to is there's where we are at, the reality of where we're at, but then there's where we want to be. Yeah. And it's like, sometimes it feels like it's just right around the corner. Like, I'm just going to get there. I'm just going to get there. I know that in my chiropractic practice, I was doing great, but it was like, you know what? I'm at $500,000. I'm still at $500,000. When am I going to hit that million? It's like, how do I make that jump? And it was really frustrating. Mm-hmm. So that gap between where we are and where we believe that we can be or think we can get to, that frustration, that's where we help. That's where we come in and help with the strategic things, all the business things, the marketing things, that's the Business Builders Mentor and Mastermind, bbmmusa.com. And then there's the inner work, because the outer is a reflection of the inner. And that's where sensinglife.us comes in, because what a person intrinsically learns between the ages of like basically birth through 18 months old, those intrinsic learning pre-verbal is what's going to dictate your relationship with money, your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with your children, your relationship to life. Yeah. And when we have a little key that unlocks the door that helps you to elevate that, and then you can really achieve what it is that you want and not necessarily go on the struggle bus for decades.
Absolutely. And what I love about what you're saying is, you're taking it back to pre-verbal, and every one of my clients across 30 years has identified their story developing somewhere between the ages of 3 and 7, 8, 9, sometimes up to 14. Like neurologically, we know that it can happen up to the age of 14 most of the time. And you're saying pre-verbal, and I'm noticing that people can self-identify between the ages of 3, as they've developed language, up through 8 or 9. Now, I think that whole thing is important. I think in utero is important. I think what we hear in utero, right, carries forward. Sometimes convincing CEOs of that is not where I want to spend my time. But once we can identify that story or that pattern that they've developed, what is possible? Like, how do we know it's possible? Because we've been so trained on social media and the norms of society that I am convinced when people come to me, and almost everyone has, and said, I have everything. We have the vacations, the yacht, the homes, the everything. We have everything. Tell me why we're still not happy. What happens?
Yeah.
Can I talk about that?
You talk about it first, and then I'll talk about it.
Yeah,
We'll take turns.
we have a bunch of different things going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I was broken. I didn't use the term broken. I just knew something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure what, and I didn't know how to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
What I knew is I was successful. I had a net worth north of $20 million.
And earning $1 million a year.
Yeah, I was earning $1 million a year. We traveled 130 days a year. Did that for many years. And the more successful I became, the angrier I became.
Because?
Oh, that's the cool part. That's where sensitive comes in. That's where PTSD treatment comes in. This is where your inner healing comes and plays a part of your path, right? My shift. So I'll tell you, I first did the S training in 1984, which was a precursor to landmark education, which we went into all that. We did, like Laura and I did the entire curriculum for peak potentials. Like we've been on this path. Laura and I have been doing web seminars somewhere every month since July 2004.
Wow.
Yes. So we have worked with everybody out there that does this sort of thing, and you name it: T. Harvecker, Mark Victor Hansen, Jack
Canfield.
Thank you, Jack Canfield. You start listing people: Alex Mendosian. Yes, we've worked with them. Absolutely.
Love Alex. Yeah.
And when you get to the heart of it, when you're still searching, and you know in your heart that you're missing something, that's when you need to reach out to us. When you're like, okay, I've tried all this other stuff. Now I got to find something that works. And when I started my inner work, see, all that stuff was outer work. The inner work started in August of 2019. And that's when our success really went crazy. And so from 2019, I've grown from, a net worth of 20 to over 35. So I know it works, and we're living proof. And, Tony Robbins said that if you want to be successful, the easiest way to do that is find someone who's successfully doing what you're doing and copy them completely. Right? The hard part is finding people like us that are willing to teach.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of gatekeeping, and it's really interesting, even in the, from the level of even the get ready with me, right? Like from that level, especially up through, your IP. And we tend to protect our IP, but I see it as, we're using basically 10,000-year-old technology in what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And so we're just giving it monikers and acronyms and different things that people can grab onto. But I think, like I've heard from people in music that it's all been done before. It's just like how we're arranging it, how we're presenting it, all of those things. And I love what you two have done with it and continue to do with it. And the enthusiasm is one of the things that I'm excited about from you guys. And Dr. Laura, you wanted to jump in.
I'm really glad that Jerry started with that, because we were those people, the ones who we have it all. We had the businesses, we had money, we had the travel lifestyle, we
traveled the world, man.
Whatever we wanted, we could buy. And yet there was still something that was missing. There was something that wasn't quite right. And so I'm going to assert that there are two kinds of trauma. There's the trauma that we know consciously, like something bad that happened. Something bad happened. And it could be abuse of some sort. It could be an actual physical trauma, a car accident. It could be a burglary. It could be like some kind of conscious trauma that happened. And if you think of that trauma like the top of a mountain, like a snow-covered mountain, that's like big trauma with the capital T. And then, so that's something bad that happened. But there's another kind of trauma that really blocks us, and we commonly don't even know that we don't even know that it's going on. And that's the trauma of something good that didn't happen.
Yep.
And
Example.
so, yeah, okay, so I'm going to give you an example here, and I'm going to give you a visual. If you can see my screen, there's a mountain, and you see the snow-covered mountain, and there's trauma there. But what if in the foreground, where my little pinky finger is, that's the grass, and you're walking on the grass toward the mountain. You see the dark areas there? That's a hole. It could be a gorge. It could be a canyon. It could be a crater. It could be a deep, dark hole. That's the hole of something good that never happened. When something happened and you needed to be comforted and that comfort never came. That love that you never felt. The being seen when you really needed to be seen, being acknowledged. And these are things that commonly happen from conception to about age 7 or so. And some of it we will remember, some of it's conscious. It's like, being bullied in school and no one there to protect you. Or like in my case, in one of my sensing life sessions, one of my very first sensing life sessions, when I started going into it, my body was shaking and I could feel this terror, absolute terror inside my body. And in the session, I could hear people yelling and screaming and crying and hurting each other. And I was afraid, and no one ever came. It's a hole that was missing. And the doctor that was with me in the Sensing Life, who I learned this from, Dr. Diogo Laura from Brazil, he said, "Oh, this is comfort that never came. This is a deep, deep hole." And ever since then, when that hole got filled, because that's what Sensing Life does, it helps a person to heal trauma, but it also helps to fill the holes. Ever since then, how I relate to other people is completely different.
Yep.
The ability to connect with people, the ability to charge what I'm worth, which is a huge one for a lot of people.
Huge.
The ability to speak, the ability for Jerry and I in our relationship, even after 27 years, is getting deeper, more connected, more fun, more exciting. Like we're going to Europe for August. I'm like, woohoo. It's
Well,
a
it's
whole,
Texas. Need to cool down.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a whole different, it's a whole different level of being alive when the holes get filled. And so that speaks to the person who, like, they have everything, but yet there's still a hole. There's still something not right in their relationship, with themselves or the people that around them that they love.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And when we don't address it, like if we go through our entire lives and we are, like, I worked in hospice, God, 20 some years ago, did some contracting with hospice, a couple of companies, and I got to interact with their clients, and from the position of being in cognitive science. And one of the things that I got to ask was, is there anything that you want to do? Like, what hole can we fill, right? What can we do now that would allow you to have no regrets? And every one of the people that I met said some form of, It's more that I wish I would have told that girl in 4th grade that I thought she was really cute, or that I would have been, a dancer instead of a doctor, which is what my family wanted me to do. And so it's all of the things I didn't do that are the regrets. Do you find that? Is that part of what the holes are?
That's one of them, and I want Jerry to talk about his experience recently with sensing life and his own life of his business.
Thanks, Doc. With my first session of sensing life, and again, I want to go back and I want to reiterate that we have begun the inner healing as of 2019. So we have been working on us hard for over 7 years.
Yeah.
In sensing life, my first experience with that was fascinating because Dr. Diogo's wife was actually working on me. He was guiding me through the session. There's a point where you physically touch the patient, right? In a comforting and loving way.
On the face, usually.
Like you'll be seated at the head of the patient, and you'll put your hands on the sides of their face, so their chin is down by your fingertips, and the ears are by your thumbs to give you a visual. And I started weeping like a 4-year-old because I realized in that moment, as a 68-year-old man, I have never felt the loving caress of a mother. My mother was a raging alcoholic who got vicious and beat me starting at 18 months. And so from that time, again, we said, as Laura said, you don't know what you don't know. I had no idea I was missing that loving, gentle touch. And then when I found out what it was, this hole that was in my soul got filled. And I can talk about it. I don't get emotional. I'm no longer triggered by such conversations, right? Because this is the work that we do. And since then, I don't know, Doc, what do you want to talk about the business? How that related?
Well, what I really specifically I would like you to talk about is that you wanted to be a medical doctor. Yes. And your dad said, no, I'm not going to pay for you to go to medical school. You're going to either take over, you're going to become a technician. You're becoming a mechanic.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, my dream was to be a surgeon. That was when I was a kid, I wanted to be a surgeon. And no one in my family had gone to college or university at that point. And he just told me flat out, he laughed at me, goes, how in the hell are you going to do that? Who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for that? You don't have money for that.
His fear.
You need to stick with what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And so that was my dad's dream. And so I've had this company, my company, it was called the Auto Shop, theautoshop.com. I started that in January of 1981, and I ran it for 45 and a half years. And on June 5, I closed the company. I didn't sell it. I didn't auction it off. I didn't sell the URL. I didn't sell none of it. I closed it. And I closed it because I got really clear it was never my dream.
Mm-hmm.
It was never my dream. I got clear on what my dream is, and my dream is helping people.
Yeah,
with
a healer.
I am a healer.
Yeah,
it's like doing social.
Too.
It's like doing emotional surgery. It is without the drugs. There's no drugs involved.
Yeah, we get better results than MDMA for PTSD and depression with Sensing Life.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And it's sensinglife.us. right?
Yes.
I want to be
Yes.
clear. Okay. And then your mastermind is the bbmmusa.com.
Yeah.
I want people to be able to find you.
Yes.
So one thing that brings up for me, and thank you for sharing that impactful story about your dad, because I've worked with so many people, and one in particular during COVID, I went back to work as a speech pathologist, got relicensed and got assigned. The only position they could find for me was in Oakland, and it was at a nursing home with sticky floors that smelled like urine, and they mostly worked with people who were unhoused. And it wasn't a problem that the doors were locked because people weren't coming to visit them anyway, you know? And I was so grateful to be there during that time, because I was supposed to fly to London and do some work 2 days before. I've got that contract 2 days before the airport shut down. And what a gift to just be like, okay, well, I'm just going to be in service. What can I do? How can I help? And one of the men there briefly had worked for NASA. And he had been an engineer, was an aerospace engineer. And his drinking led to his divorce and his wife taking his kids, him not going to work, and him losing his home. And what he told me right before he was taken to the hospital and ultimately I heard passed away on the way to the hospital was he's covered in vomit and blood because he's throwing up on the floor of the nursing home room. And what he ended up saying was, you know, my dad told me when I was 9 years old that I would never amount to anything.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Right. And so he went to the pinnacle of success. He had it all. But that was that story and that pattern serving that story, protecting that story. He'd never gotten any information about how to work with that. And ultimately, that's where he went with it, you know, and it broke my heart, still does. I see it in different ways with all of my clients and with so many people, and I try to recognize it in me so that I can do the work too. But it's a huge thing when our stories that we protect ultimately shorten our lives or make our lives miserable.
Or cause us to sabotage ourselves.
Constantly.
Yeah, we have an attorney that we worked with 2 weeks ago, and we did a one-day retreat with him. And what came up for him in his first sensing life session, first of the day, because it's a retreat, so you do several in a day, get it over and done with. Like, let's do this quickly because you know, we're business people and we don't have time to come in every week.
We got stuff to do.
Fine.
Let's go.
Yeah, and that's great. But what came up was he said, I have to be perfect to be loved.
Yes.
And the freedom for him to make a mistake and to be imperfect. What happened is 2 weeks later, so last week, he had his top week ever in the history of his firm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's so alive and awake and free. It's like people around him are saying, like, who are you? And
Right.
like you're so connected and so congruent. And he's himself.
Yes.
He's in his own skin.
Exactly.
And he realizes, yeah, exactly, right? And he doesn't have to be perfect, and he knows that he is loved. That hole got filled in that day session.
I love that so much. Yes,
Yeah.
Jerry.
The interesting thing, and I really need to hammer this home. Okay? We got to just hammer this home. When you're this little person and you're 18 months, 2 years old, you have this belief that mom and dad love you and mom and dad are 100% correct on everything. They would never lie to you.
Right.
This is your stone cold belief. So everything in your life is based from the people in authority over you giving you their filters.
Yeah, absolutely.
From their level of consciousness.
It's their filters from where they are that they picked up from their people of authority, whether it's the teachers, the mom, the dad, the grandparents, the uncles, who gives a rip who it was, but it's the people in their authoritative viewpoint gave them their filters that they're now trying to hand down to you, and all of it's bullshit and lies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
when you can clear all that stuff, when you wipe that slate clean and you can go, F yeah, baby, this is real.
Yeehaw. Yes, exactly. And you know, the bigger picture is I have that lens with teachers as well, gurus, whatever. You know, everything is we filter. Everything has been filtered. Tantra has been filtered through, you know, generations of mostly men, I'm gonna say. Like all of our education, but everything has been filtered through some other human being who is not perfect.
Yep.
And so what do we believe, you know? And like you say with parents, it's such a good point, and it's been a stumbling block for everybody I've met, including myself, you know, that what we learn, the models that we have, we think are accurate. And so those are the stories that we have, the patterns protect them cognitively, and then we move forward subconsciously recreating those patterns.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it
So
is like,
you
yeah.
have an event. You have an event. The event creates a narrative. The narrative creates a story, and the story runs your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
we
you don't have the tools. The average person out there does not have the freaking tools to erase the narrative.
Well, we never get a
Alter
model.
it,
We don't
right?
get educated in how to communicate, how to do relationship with ourselves or each other. And so, yeah, it just runs.
And I'm just going to tell you that, so I've had the pain and the pleasure of working with a lot of high income earners,
Mm-hmm.
like crazy amounts of income.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them are broke. They have no freaking idea of, because we had a guy, his W-2 was $1.3 million. And I said, how much money do you have in the bank? He's got $4,200. I said, wait, you make 1.2, 1.3, and you have 4,200 in the bank? He goes, yeah, we spend money like drunk sailors on shore leave. Because they think that the music will never stop. And unfortunately, the music always stops.
Yeah. The other side of that, though, Jerry, is that, and I want to hear the rest of what you wanted to say. The other side of that is that sometimes, or a lot of times, people spend a lot of money because they don't think they deserve to have.
Right. They're not worthy. They're not worthy. They got bad programming.
Right.
Your friend, you'll never amount to anything.
Yeah.
You know, my dad told me when I left the city of Detroit, my dad literally, and this is, so through all the work we've done, I got clear on this. He had his arms crossed. He was standing outside his shop. He laughed at me. He goes, "You'll be back with your tail tucked between your legs, begging me for a job."
Mm.
And I made up my mind right then and there. I said, I will never be back in this city for any reason. And I went back when he passed. And I got really clear. I will never beg anybody for a job. I'm certifiably unemployable.
Same, brother. Same. Yeah. And proud of it most of the time, except for when it's hard. You know, when you look at that and you know, when you look at what your dad said and you can see where that's coming from, you can see his story, his wound, where he was in self-protection and trying to protect you with his self-protection. Just get a job that you know you can do and keep doing it until you die. Right. That's how he felt safe, or some version of that. What do you think his version of that was?
I think he was upset that I was leaving. He was upset that I was moving to Texas. He was upset because he had groomed me to run his company, to be with him. And when I felt that it was time for me to do that, he said, no, not no, but hell no. And I said, well, you know, I'm at this point in my life. I've got to start thinking about my future. My future, you know, they tell you on the airplane, put in the event of an emergency, make sure you put your mask on before you put on anybody else's mask. Right. And so I, at 21 years of age, decided I need to put my freaking mask on before I can make sure his mask is on.
You hit that running 30 years before I figured it out, so I'm really
Right?
impressed.
I mean, literally, I moved here. I was 22 years old when I picked up and moved. I got here. I had $1,100 to my name,
Mhm.
a box of Snap-on tools, a rusted out old car, and a couch. And I've turned it into about $36 million.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's a good return.
that's real numbers. That's real stuff. And I feel blessed that I've been able to do that. But it's also taken a shit ton of hard work and dedication and having
And the
the.
love of a good woman.
I'm sorry.
The love of a good woman.
Oh, absolutely. One of the most important choices, the most important thing you can do in your life, the most important choice you can make is who you choose as your spouse.
Huge. And we a lot of us choose from those old patterns, right? And I'm curious, Dr. Laura, when you hear that, you talk often about the hard truth.
Mhm.
What is the hard truth of this?
The hard truth of who people choose as a spouse?
Just what you're hearing from your
Well,
hubs.
the hard truth is a lot of people get married for really weird reasons. Like they get married because I just got to have kids with that guy. I'm like, what? Or he's going to provide me security. Well, do you love him?
Or I
Like
can help him.
the reason to get married is because you are each other's best partner.
Say it again.
That's it. Because you have to be partners in raising kids. You have to be partners in the household. You have to be partners in helping each other with each other's lives. It's who is your best partner? Because in the Bible it says, and the two shall become one. Well, if you are not good partners, then it's your half, his half. And there's no such thing as 50-50. It's you give 100% and 100%. You both give 100%. And that is what a partner does.
Yeah.
And now it's a whole lot more fun when you find a partner who's fun, like I did.
Yeah, you both did.
Every line on my face is from laughing. Every wrinkle is a laugh line, okay?
Yes, I want that. Yes. Yeah, that's how it
So
should be.
we got married because we had so much fun together and we were such good partners. We're good partners in bed. We're good partners in business. We're good partners in the kitchen, like cooking together. We're good partners in coaching people in business.
Were you always though? Did you come in that way? Did you come in that way together, or have you learned that through the work that you've done?
Both.
A bit of both. We were good partners
We were
to
good
begin with, but then we also
improved.
have honed that skill.
Mm-hmm. Huge.
So here's something that people go, how do you guys stay together? Because clearly I'm not the introvert.
Neither.
I'm going to throw that out there, okay? Clearly, I am not the introvert.
You used to be?
Oh, yes. I would hide behind Jerry.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Laura was a huge introvert.
Yeah.
Like
when we'd go to a party or networking or something, I'd say, Jerry, ask them that question.
Oh, and now you're bubbling out of the way?
And I would just stand there and be quiet and smile and nod and listen and you know, and I never was outgoing ever.
He would whisper in my ear and tell me to ask that question. It's like, why don't you ask it?
Only since we did our full inner healing, I really have, and I had my practice for 20 years. I sold it in 2017, and then we really started our inner healing in 2019.
Okay.
So I was the doctor that kind of hid behind the coat, you know. And so I really feel good in my own skin now in doing the inner healing and doing the holes have been filled. Now I just get to increase my capacities for relationships, my capacity for love, for caring, for community, for being playful, for being alive, having fun. And that's what we're working on.
I love that so much. Okay, so I said this last time we met too. I could talk to you guys for days, literally weeks. And so because we have to wrap up, my question for you is, what is one thing that you want people to know, even if it doesn't come from you, right? So what do you think people need to know? The one thing.
You can have it all.
Mm. 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 You're in agreement, Jerry?
Absolutely. 100%. You can have it all as long as you're willing to do the work. You must.
That's the
This is this.
part.
It takes audience participation. This is when you can't just lay back and go, do me.
Yeah.
Do me. No. We'll help you lay the path. We'll help you when obstacles come up. But you have to be the one in the driver's seat. You got to be the one that's actually doing the work.
And it's active. It's very active.
We had a guy paid us for a year of coaching in advance. And the second week, I told Laura during the call, I said, send all of his money back because he is unwilling to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need the money. I don't need to work. I don't need any of that crap. I want to help people that really want to make a difference in their lives. Yeah. Laura really wants to help people that want to make a positive difference in their lives. Not just, here, I wrote you a check, now do me.
We want to work with people who want to elevate humanity, elevate the level of consciousness. People who don't just want to make a difference in their community. It's people that really want to make a difference in the world. It's like, how do you make an impact in the world? That's what we're up to. And we will work with everyone because everyone has that in them, the ability to impact the world.
When they're willing to do the work. And I love that so much. I've gotten to the microcosm now of I will only work with people who want to make change. Everybody has to come to the table wanting change. And I'm especially interested in working with people who don't want to screw their kids up anymore. That's, after working with top leaders and their families, that's where I'm having so much fun right now. And where can people find you?
The easiest way is...
They can find me standing next to her.
Nice. Great answer. I love that answer.
Our websites are sensinglife.us and bbmmusa.com. And then we're also on LinkedIn. So Dr. Laura Shwaluk, Shwaluk, and Jerry Kezhaya, Kezhaya. You can find us on LinkedIn and reach us from there.
And we didn't even get to talk about the property or the retreats and all of those things, but we'll have you back again to do that. And thank you so much for being so dedicated in this space of your life where you do not have to work. And you're finding yourselves increasingly dedicated to the work of helping people be better humans and helping humanity heal. And I love you both so much for that. So let's definitely stay in touch and we will connect again and again. Thank you so much.
And it's an honor to be with you and to share time with you. Thank you so much for really good in-depth questions and your audience and just everything, your presence that you bring. I really honor you.
Thank you so much.
Can I leave your audience with a question?
Yeah, of course.
One question. This was presented to me many years ago. And the question is, how will the world be different because you are in it?
All right, Jerry.
We're here.
Yeah? How do you answer that?
You have to think about that. And
what's your answer?
My answer? Oh my God. I've made so many changes in the world. I've changed laws here in our city. I was on the sign board. I was on the board of adjustment. I was on planning and zoning. I've been in local politics for 25 years before I retired out of that. I employed hundreds of people. We've set great examples for thousands of people. There's a book called The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. If you read the book, it's a great story. In the automotive repair business, what we shared with our employees was, we're not in the car repair business. We're not in the oil change business. We're not in the brake business. We are in the business of saving people's lives. This is what we do. We make sure their vehicles are safe. We make sure your car never breaks down, right? These are when I take a business owner, when Laura and I work with a business owner, and we teach them the fundamentals of a successful business, we're not only changing him or her, we're changing their spouse, we're changing their family, we're changing their employees, we're changing the employees' families. We have effectively changed the lives. In my auto repair business, we serviced almost 300,000 vehicles that we kept safe. 300,000 people we kept alive, right? This is huge change for the world.
Yeah, you're helping heal the world.
And this is what we're doing now. Now we take the healing personally. We help you personally to shift, and then you get to go out and help other people.
I love that.
Because a rising tide lifts all boats.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And Dr. Laura, how would you answer that question?
Well, for me, I think I'm still going on that. Now, first of all, I've helped thousands of people reverse type 2 diabetes. That was part of the last few years of my practice. That was what I focused on, and that was such a joy. And I still get emails and phone calls saying, you know, I still follow what you told me, and I still doing so well with my A1C numbers and my health and my life, and I have you to thank. And because type 2 diabetes runs familial, because the habits are the same, I've changed. It's like breaking the chain of habits in a family.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like I am starting this something anew to change the world, because I've been asked to create the training program for the English-speaking community in Sensing Life. So all of the therapists out there who want to do this kind of therapy to help people at such a profound level, I'm the contact for the English-speaking community to train the therapists and to put that out in the world. So it's still ongoing for us both.
Yeah, sensinglife.us for all of those therapists. And yeah, you're out here saving lives. And thank you so much for the work that you do and for sharing part of that time and beauty and life with me. I appreciate you both. And we'll talk again soon. And everybody, please find these two amazing human beings. And if anything about them is called to you, please reach out to them. They are really, really some of the most accessible, vibrant, intelligent humans. Yeah, I can't say enough good about you both. Thank you so much. And I'm glad I didn't go out on a ship in Antarctica to find you. Thank you to Armando for the introduction. And we'll talk soon, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Thank you so much.
You dove in. This is the Soul of Connection. Subscribe now. Stay close. Your full life depends on it.